Under the dazzling chandeliers of the luxury car dealership, the world seemed to pause as an opulent Rolls Royce Phantom purred to a stop, commanding the attention of every single soul inside. From its depths emerged Ella Mitchell, the seemingly unassuming woman who had been scorned and belittled the day before, now stepping out with an aura of quiet power and humility. As whispers of disbelief swirled like a rising storm, the staff stood frozen, struggling to reconcile her previous dismissal with the spectacle unfolding before their eyes. But what happened next will shock even those who thought they'd seen everything. But first, let's go back to the beginning. Ella Mitchell, with her serene demeanor and modest attire, stepped cautiously into the epitome of luxury. A high-end car dealership nestled in an affluent part of town. The air inside was crisp, conditioned meticulously to maintain the atmosphere of serene opulence. Polished marble floors reflected the dazzling lights above, creating an almost celestial twinkle around the carefully arranged display of brand-new vehicles. Ella's heart fluttered with a mix of trepidation and purpose. Her intent was singular: to find a modest, reliable car, something unflashy but durable enough to aid her in the various charitable endeavors that occupied much of her life. Despite the grandeur surrounding her, Ella was firm in her resolve, her focus unwavering amidst the gleaming spectacle. Yet, as she moved through the showroom, her eyes tracing over the sleek curves of each car, she couldn't shake the feeling of being out of place. Her simple clothes felt like an ill-fitting skin in this realm of tailored suits and designer dresses. Still, she held her head high, a quiet confidence present in her gentle smile. Across the room, Andy Collins, the senior salesman, observed her arrival with a critical eye. Known for his sharp tongue and keen ability to size up potential buyers, Andy had built his career on catering exclusively to the ostentatious and visibly affluent. His gaze, honed to dismiss anyone who didn't fit the boutique's high-spending profile, landed on Ella with palpable disdain. As Ella approached to inquire about a particular model, intending to discuss its practicality and economy, Andy's condescension was immediate and unyielding. He barely restrained a sneer as he intervened, his voice dripping with patronizing intent. "I'm sorry, ma'am," he said, his tone implying anything but contrition. "Perhaps you're in the wrong place? Our cars here are quite, well, exclusive." Stung by the suggestion, Ella felt the heat rise in her cheeks. She began to explain, hoping to make clear her genuine interest and capability to purchase, but her words were cut short. Andy, with a dismissive wave of his hand, continued to undermine her presence. His prejudiced assumptions that wealth must be worn like a badge blinded him to Ella's integrity and genuine need. The encounter, wrapped in its latent hostility, left Ella feeling as though the very walls had narrowed around her. She exited the dealership with a heart heavy with humiliation, the casual cruelty of Andy's dismissal echoing long after she crossed the threshold back into the world outside. In that moment, she felt reduced to little more than a misfit, her warm ambitions overshadowed momentarily by a bitter lesson in human nature. The morning light streamed through the expansive windows of the dealership, casting an optimistic glow over the showroom. The atmosphere buzzed with the usual hum of polished transactions and smooth-talking sales pitches. But today, an undercurrent of unexpected anticipation coursed through the air as a hush fell upon the staff. All eyes turned toward the entrance as a majestic spectacle unfolded before them. A Rolls Royce Phantom, a masterpiece of automotive luxury, glided imperiously into the driveway, its sleek body gleaming under the sun. The car, often regarded as a symbol of ultimate affluence, commanded immediate attention, capturing the gaze of everyone present and shaking them out of their usual routines. The smooth purr of its engine quieted conversations to whispers, filled with speculation and curiosity. The dealership staff, especially Andy Collins, momentarily forgot their practiced composure. Just yesterday, The arrival of someone in such an opulent vehicle would have been routine, yet the occupant of this particular carriage threw all assumptions into disarray. As the chauffeur, clad in a crisp uniform, gracefully exited the driver's seat to open the door, the intrigue in the showroom reached a fever pitch. To everyone's astonishment, outstepped Ella Mitchell, a vision unchanged in her simplicity, yet transformed by an undeniable aura of confidence. Gone was the tentative demeanor of the day before. In its place resided an unshakable poise. The shift was subtle but undeniable, like a gentle yet determined breeze that reshapes the landscape without forcing its presence. Ella paused momentarily, offering a serene smile to those whose eyes she met, an expression as sincere as it was unfathomable to the stunned staff. Her presence was a paradox in their world. A woman whose outward modesty belied an inner wealth far beyond materiality. The transformation in perception was palpable. Heads tilted in contemplation, staff members whispered theories, each more elaborate than the last, regarding her unexpected connection to the lavish vehicle. As Ella traversed the showroom, she exhibited neither arrogance nor conceit. Instead, every step spoke volumes, projecting a message of quiet dignity mingled with warmth. Her interactions remained imbued with her characteristic kindness, a testament to her incorruptible spirit. She approached each person with the same authenticity as before, rendering her presence both disarming and inspirational. Andy, witnessing this display, felt a churning mix of emotions. His face, a mask of professional detachment, barely concealed the churn beneath as he grappled with this unforeseen revelation. Ella's entrance had shifted the hierarchy of understanding, challenging preconceived notions not just about her, but about the very nature of judgment and respect. Ella's presence in the dealership created a ripple effect, urging all who witnessed her arrival to reconsider long-held beliefs about appearance and status. The aura she exuded was a quiet revolution, a reminder that true worth resides not in outward adornment, but in the richness of character and intent. As the weight of the situation settled heavily on their shoulders, the dealership staff, particularly Andy Collins, grappled with a complex swirl of emotions. Embarrassment battled fiercely with an unexpected surge of resentment, each competing for dominance in the tumult of his conscience. The dawning reality that they had misjudged Ella Mitchell so grievously left them stunned and reflective. What unfolded next would etch a lasting change in their perspectives. Into this charged atmosphere walked Richard Mitchell, Ella's husband. His entrance was devoid of the fanfare one might expect from a man of his stature, a billionaire who navigated life with a deliberate low profile. Richard's presence carried an understated authority, simultaneously reassuring and commanding. Though his appearance was marked by the elegance of simplicity, the room shifted in recognition of an unmistakable dignity. Richard's eyes, steady and warm, found Andy amongst the cluster of dealership staff. An unspoken communication passed between the two men, one of understanding and, perhaps, unvoiced challenge. Richard's approach to Andy was measured, his demeanor calm yet imbued with a strength that needed no manifestation through raised voices or grand gestures. It was a quiet confidence, an illustration in humility that contrasted sharply with Andy's past arrogance. Richard, standing beside Ella, began speaking with a clarity that cut through unspoken tension like a trusted counsel sharing hard-won truths. He articulated with a gentle firmness that neither money nor status should dictate respect. It was character and attitude that truly mattered. "We built our lives on the foundation of humility," Richard explained, his voice resonating with sincerity. "That's what has brought us success, not the trappings of wealth." As his words settled in the air, Andy felt a bitter pang of regret twist within him. The stark contrast between Richard's poised humility and his own earlier presumption was a jarring reflection. Andy, who had long prided himself on his ability to read people, realized the grave error in equating external appearances with internal worth. He saw now that true discernment required looking beyond surface glitz to the heart of a person's character. The dealership's staff, too, absorbed the weight of Richard's words, their earlier whispers now replaced by thoughtful silence. The narrative they had spun about Ella and Richard had been one of their own narrow invention, and here before them stood a story of integrity and grace they could not have imagined. This revelation challenged the very foundation of their professional conduct and interpersonal judgments. Richard and Ella's visit was more than a mere transaction or a social call. It was a profound lesson, delivered with quiet dignity, urging Andy and his colleagues to reimagine their approach to customer service and human interaction. It resonated, a resounding call to embrace empathy and respect above all else, a beacon of renewal in a world too often quick to judge based on appearance. Ella Mitchell, embodying the essence of compassion and forgiveness, decided to respond to the dealership's prior misjudgment with a gesture both simple and profound. Her choice to forgive, an act rooted deeply in her benevolent nature, was not merely a personal resolution, but a broader reflection of her unwavering belief in the potential for change and redemption. Standing amidst the gleaming luxury of the showroom, Ella exuded an inner light, softly illuminating the very atmosphere around her with warmth and sincerity. In a surprising turn, she expressed her intention to proceed with the purchase of the modest car she had initially intended to buy. This decision, seemingly straightforward, carried with it a powerful message. Ella understood that actions speak in volumes, words often cannot reach. Her commitment to the purchase was a testament not just to her own resilience and grace, but to the faith she held in the ability of others to learn and grow from past mistakes. Her demeanor remained steadfastly approachable, even amidst the opulent surroundings that had once felt so intimidating. While Ella completed the formalities of the car purchase, her interactions were genuine, free of any undercurrent of resentment or superiority. Richard stood beside her, an emblem of gentle strength, his presence underscoring Ella's own quiet resolve. Together, they offered a harmonious vision of humility and integrity. This interaction left a profound and indelible mark on Andy Collins and his colleagues. Confronted with Ella's magnanimity and Richard's quiet firmness, they were compelled to confront their own preconceptions. It became evident to them that wealth, when allied with humility, harbored a transformative power far beyond mere financial transaction or status. The impact of Ella and Richard's encounter expanded beyond personal redemption. It sparked a reevaluation of the dealership's core values. Eager to adapt and evolve, the dealership's management, inspired by this moral compass, initiated a pivotal cultural shift. They began fostering an ethos that prioritized respect and inclusivity over flashy sales and surface-level assessments. These changes, while initiated within the confines of the dealership, soon extended outward, gradually enhancing its reputation within the community. Clients began to feel the genuine warmth and respect that now defined every interaction, making the dealership a cherished part of the neighborhood, rather than just a place of commerce. Through Ella's triumphant return, an experience initially marred by prejudice and dismissal was transformed into a narrative of redemption and moral victory. Ella's influence extended far beyond the acquisition of a car. She had become the catalyst for a meaningful transformation in human spirit and organizational philosophy. Her belief in forgiveness and change turned the page for many, ushering in a chapter of renewal and unwavering respect, ensuring that justice was not only served but celebrated.